Operations. Remote dongle engineering. Let's have an overview of the remote dongle engineering. The LMU supports also a remote dongle engineering possibility. This may be necessary if, for example, on a customer computer there is only a customer license running and the engineering person needs to do some additional engineering topics on this machine. Thus, using remote dongle engineering, a support engineer can use his engineer PC with a certificate license to access a customer PC and carry out engineering operations. What are the preconditions? The engineering dongle is plugged into the engineering PC. The LMU applications are installed on the engineering computer in the physical host. We strongly advise to keep the LMU applications running during the entire workflow on both machines. Note: it is not allowed to close or start the LMU application between the create challenge and the validate response tasks. The workflow is divided in 3 main steps. First, establish remote control from the engineering to the host computer and create the challenge task on the host computer with the license certification, which must be made available on the host computer. Second, transfer the challenge to the engineering computer and create the dongle validation with validation response. And third, transfer the validation response to the host computer and validate the response for activation of license with the virtual dongle ID. We now switch to the workflow. Establish remote control and create challenge. Step 1. The prerequisites for remote dongle engineering are: the engineering dongle is plugged into the engineering PC. LMU is installed on the engineering computer and the customer host. Make sure the license certificate is available on the host computer. We strongly advise to keep the LMU applications running during the entire workflow on both machines. Note: it is not allowed to close or start the LMU application between the create challenge and the validate response tasks. The first thing we do is make sure we have a remote connection to the host computer, as can be seen here. Start the LMU application on the customer host and in the navigation pane in Activatable Items, select the node Import Certificates under Dongle Activation. Use the Browse button to get to the certificate files and click on Open. By clicking on the button Add Certificate, the certificate in the certificate path will appear in the activatable line items in the View pane and the button Activate Licenses is enabled. Click on this button to perform the reinstallation on this machine. A window pops up confirming the successful operation. We find the license by opening the Tree View pane, in the Licensed Products page with the red marked dongle ID because so far, no connection to a dongle is created. As next, we need to create the challenge for the dongle. For this, in the navigation pane in Settings, select the node Remote Dongle and open the Remote Dongle Settings expander. In the Duration drop-down list, all connection durations are visible, from half an hour up to 4 hours. Here you select the time required to perform the work on the host machine. For our purpose, half an hour is fine. Now, by clicking the Create Challenge button, a Remote Dongle Challenge ID is created and visible in this text box. To have this ID available on the engineering computer, the tool offers 2 options. Copy saves this ID to the clipboard. With Save, the ID is saved as a file on the host computer. We choose Copy. With the Save feature, it is also possible to set up remote engineering without having a remote control to the host computer, by exchanging the files via email, for example. We now switch to the engineering computer. Validate the dongle and create response. Step 2. On the engineering machine, we are now validating the dongle and create the response ID. First, make sure the correct dongle is plugged in the computer. We start the LMU application and in the navigation pane in Settings, select the node Remote Dongle and open the Dongle Validation expander. Select the correct dongle ID from the Dongle ID drop-down list in case several dongles are plugged in the engineering machine. To paste the created challenge ID in the host computer, we can use the paste button in case the ID was created with copy, or the load button in case the ID exists as a file. In our case, we use paste and the ID will appear in the challenge LMS server text box. By clicking on the Validate Dongle button, the validation response ID is created and shown in the text box. Also here, the tool offers both possibilities with copy and save. We use the copy feature and switch now to the host computer. Validate response and activate. Step 3. Back to the host computer. We have now to activate the virtual dongle for the limited time. In the remote dongle settings expander, depending on the situation, we can use the paste button to paste the response ID from the clipboard, or the load button when a file from the ID is available. In our case, we click on paste and the ID is entered in the remote dongle response box. By clicking now on the validation response button, the activation of the license will be executed by using the virtual dongle ID. A pop-up shows a successful operation. From the present time, the time is measured, and the remaining time is displayed here in the remaining time section. In the View pane in Licensed Products, now the license shows a green dot with the corresponding dongle ID. Remote dongle license will expire in the selected duration. You will receive the notifications, as shown here, before the license is expired. Finally followed at the end by the notification that the license has expired. Finally, the dongle ID status also changes back to red.